What is going on, my friends and family? Welcome back to another episode of Does This Cause Acne? I appreciate you guys jumping in here. These episodes are based off of the questions that you guys asked in the comments below. I take the comments from the last episode and use those to source the questions. So if you have any questions about does whatever cause acne, leave them in the comment section below here. Usually I answer these questions with as much scientific knowledge as possible, with scientific studies, etc., to back what I'm saying up, and then mix my anecdotal experience in. But today I'm not at my own house. I am at my girlfriend's aunt's house watching it, and so I don't have my computer or anything like that. So today I'm going to be trying to answer as much as I can with anecdotal experiences. If you have anything to add, I would love for you to leave it in the comments below, because let's be honest here, we all scroll the comments while we're watching videos. We don't actually watch the video. Now, without further ado, let's just jump into question number one. And question number one is, does a high protein diet cause acne? And the answer is 100% yes, it does. Not only from anecdotal experience, but also there is lots and lots of studies and science that support and back this up. Basically what happens is when you have a high protein diet, you increase your IGF-1 hormone, so this insulin growth factor 1. And this is important because you do need to increase that to gain muscle size, but also when you increase your IGF-1, you also increase the amount of mTOR, which is in your body, and when mTOR increases, you increase the amount of sebum oil production, which is the oil on your face that causes the acne. So long answer short, yes, a higher protein diet does cause acne. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't work out if that's what you want to do. Having a small amount of acne is not the worst thing in the world, especially if your passion is athletics, sports, etc. You may have to just face the fact that maybe you can do a lot of things to improve your acne, but because you don't want to take sports out, you're gonna have, 10% acne at all times, even if you improve all the rest of the 90%. I love this one. This is from Joey the bodybuilder, and this is really relevant because I have done waxing before. I'll tell you about that in a second. Talking about waxing, does waxing your eyebrows cause acne? Is threading my eyebrows a better option? Now, I've never waxed or threaded my eyebrows themselves, but I've competed in 3 bodybuilding competitions, or rather men's physique competitions, and for those you have to wax your whole body. I know, for a lot of people who don't compete, it's pretty weird. And you get bronzed up, you look like a little weirdo, a little shiny, squirty, little wet weirdo, but you do have to get a wax. And so what that showed me is that I break out heavily after a wax, especially for me. On the first time I ever got waxed, I broke out the most, and I think that may be just because my body wasn't used to being waxed, so maybe it's something about ripping the hair out of the follicles that causes them to be all sensitive and ready to inflame. Maybe it's the chemicals that they use, the wax itself, because the wax, when it dries, it's hard, so maybe it's clogging pores. I'm not sure. I think that would make sense if it was on your face, that it might clog your pores. Regardless though, I and a lot of other people have witnessed or noticed that we have an increase in breakouts from waxing. So threading would for sure be a better option, because there's nothing but thread going on your face versus wax. Next up, what do you think about Greek yogurt? I know it's dairy, but it is termed as healthy for fitness enthusiasts. And that's a great question, because there are a couple things that, they're claimed as being really healthy. So it's like, okay, but I heard that dairy is not good for me, but that's really healthy. So should I be having cottage cheese, even though I shouldn't be having dairy, etc., etc. The rule is the same no matter what dairy you're talking about, whether it's kefir dairy that has probiotics in it, or if it's just regular old cheddar cheese from Tillamook or whatever. It's all the same dairy. Dairy increases that thing that I talked about earlier, mTOR, in your body, and when that increases, it increases the amount of oil sebum production that you create, and it increases your acne. It's just a hard fact. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to, just target dairy entirely, but for me, that was my thing. There are also lots of other things, lots of other foods and diet and things that you can eat and stuff that will cause you to have acne. But I harp on dairy so hard because for me, that was 100%. The reason I had such bad cystic acne is because I was just pounding dairy. So anyways, long story short, Greek yogurt, while it may have this or that benefit, health effect or whatever, it does still cause acne even if you do get those benefits. The next question is really relevant because my hair is wild right now and I feel like I need a hat. But the question is, do hats and caps and beanies and things that you put on your head cause acne? I recently started to wear caps and my upper head started to break out. And I think in a way you already kind of answered your own question anecdotally, because that's basically what I'm going to say is that when I have worn hats in the past, and in high school I used to wear hats exclusively all the time, I definitely would break out on this part of my face, the forehead. And that only makes sense that that was because of the hat, because that's the only part of your face that your hat is covering. And I think we can kind of all go down the same line of logic of why. You know, you're trapping sweat, you're probably trapping oil as well as dirt under that fabric. And then also, if you don't wash your hats every single time you use them, you are doubling, tripling, quadrupling the amount of oil, sweat, dirt that has been accumulated on the material side of that hat. And then you're putting it back on your face and doing it again. So it's probably compounding and getting worse. And so a lot of us like to wear beanies and stuff to cover the acne that's on our foreheads so that we don't have to show that. But then it's kind of a catch-22, kind of a circle, right? Because then that causes more acne. I'm not going to say that you shouldn't wear hats if that, you know, makes you more comfortable, if you want to cover that pimple up that day or that cyst or whatever like that. But it may be causing it to stay longer, so it might be something to consider. Maybe reducing the amount of hats that you wear, or just removing them entirely. Next up, the next question is, does a vitamin B12 supplement cause acne? And this is actually an awesomely timed question, because my answer for that has always been personally no. I have not seen any differences from when I started taking B12 or from just eating foods that had lots of B12 fortification in it. I haven't seen anything. But I just stayed with my friends for a week in LA, Derek Simnett, John Venus. Derek was literally just talking about this and saying, have you guys seen an increase in your acne when you take B12, when you dose it? And I said no, and he said, for me, I definitely am noticing it. Like, when I take lots of B12, I break out. When I take a little bit, not so much. And so there you go. There's just an anecdotal story about someone who does have that same experiences as you probably are experiencing. And there's been a lot of reported cases. A lot of people have posted about this on the internet, that when they supplement B12, they break out. So I think it's pretty confirmed that for each person, you have to find out whether it does break you out or not. But there are people that B12 does break out. For those of you who don't even know what B12 is, a lot of people are deficient in it. Vegan, non-vegan, anything. A lot of people in America especially are deficient in it. So a lot of people will supplement with it to get better energy. It's also what's found in Monsters, Red Bulls, etc. because it does give you energy if you are deficient in it. So something to look into. And the final question, this one's pretty funny because I know a lot of people are going to be like super disappointed about this, so I'm sorry. But does Nutella chocolate cause acne? The answer, unfortunately, is yes. This isn't something that I've like tested because I like Nutella, I like peanut butter, but I'm not like one of those people who eats Nutella out of the jar. It's just like cramming it down for every dessert. But again, Nutella is made from dairy. It has milk in it, and therefore, by default, it does cause acne because of those things I talked about earlier. Don't want to keep saying mTORC over and over. It's super boring. But yeah, it's just as a fact of life. And I do believe that people break out different levels from dairy, right? I do think that some people can tolerate tons of dairy and not break out, where other people will have just a sniff of dairy and they'll break out heavily. I think there's a different, there's a spectrum of how sensitive you are, but dairy has been proven scientifically to increase everyone's mTORC at least a little bit. So that brings us to the end of this video today. I hope you guys enjoyed Does This Cause Acne episode. And if you, again, have any questions that you'd like to add, I love to hear them in the comments below. The channel, the community is blowing up. We're doing so freaking awesome. If you guys have anybody that you watch in the acne community that you would like me to connect with, I would love for you to let me know, let them know, whatever it is, however you want to do it, because I want to start doing interviews with people on this channel. I think there's an awesome acne positivity movement going on, but I think we need to cultivate it and grow it, and over the next couple years, it'll be huge. Right now, I feel like it's just starting, and I feel like it's in a really good place. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big old thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to the channel already, subscribe to the channel, and I hope that you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. Remember, you are beautiful, you are not alone, and you are part of Team Acne. I'll see you in the next video.